Alright, so once again you're welcome. As usual, we shall be using chemistry, and I'm going to look through the different parts of this pipeline. Yeah, maybe I can choose a different class, because you know what, I have at least progressed from one class to the next, to the next, to the next. But for people who haven't progressed, you need to first progress, of course. Anyway, let me still remain in senior one. Let me still remain in senior one. So the other time we covered an adventure, we covered revise, then we covered the sample items. So next we're going to look at the short answer question and the activity of integration. That's what we are going to do today. So basically this is usually part of the activity of integration, is usually what we give at the end of the chapter. Then the short answer questions are actually supposed to be designed as the way you see those parts of the items. So usually an item usually has parts, and usually those parts are from specific chapters. So usually these short answer questions are designed in future. We need to revise their setting, but that's what we intend to do. Revise them to be parts of the item. So that's why we need cooperation. When people can share enough items with the answers and they're good, then we can usually find a way of modifying those short answer questions. So we're going to do activity of integration for the short answer question. But as usual, as we told you, when you're just following the resume part, the time will come for you when you will get all this. What we will not get in the resume part is basically the adventure. The adventure is something that you explicitly have to decide on your own whether you are coming for it or not. So I'm going to put A. I'll go for my activity of integration. So an activity of integration is usually meant to cover the whole chapter. So basically previously we used to write an activity of integration as, say, someone who is digging, you never know what, like we give it a scenario, that is fine. So usually these questions, you may get a scenario question, you may not get a scenario question. These things are random. They are picked random. But even if it is not a scenario question, at least we make sure it is covering the whole chapter. Like this one, for example, it's covering the whole chapter, even more than what an activity of integration would cover. So they are going to say, they are giving you details of how you are supposed to follow the answering format and ensure the selected activity is scored by your teacher or the AI. So by default we are going to open it, and with your internet on for scoring, it will be scored. Otherwise, if you don't want it scored by the internet, you don't want to waste your time, whatever is going to open, just close it. Automatically what will open will look similar like this one that has been selected, and it is being opened, for example, for you to write something. But if you don't want, then we just close it. And how do we answer? We answer using the format of relevance, accuracy, coherence, and excellence where necessary. If it is not necessary, we expect chemistry. It is not necessary. So it's fantastic. So it will open. Am I interested? No. I'm not. So I'll close. So that is done. If I was interested, I would read. I would do that activity and have it marked. Maybe I can get another one. So this is, for example, it is a scenario-based activity of integration. So in a certain local sub-county, there is a pressing need for sewage treatment infrastructure. Residents are concerned about the impact of untreated sewage or public health and the environment. So here, when you're getting an activity of integration, because basically we expect you to get it when you finish a chapter automatically. We don't give you room to choose a chapter. We shall choose randomly. We assume you have actually finished all these chapters, because otherwise you will have already done some activities as you progress from one chapter to another. Fantastic there to note. So this one has been chosen from the chapter for water. And they're saying in a certain sub-count there is a pressing need for sewage treatment infrastructure. Residents are concerned about the impact of untreated sewage on public health and the environment. And this has attracted the attention of the officials from the NEMA. And to address this issue, extensive research on sewage is underway. So the officials are planning to create awareness to the people through sensitization workshops organized in different district communities. And your task is to prepare a short presentation you will deliver during the workshop upon invitation. You need to know how people treat sewage. So I'm going to try to attempt it. Fine. It must be relevant. Whatever point I put up must be relevant, accurate, coherent. Relevant, accurate, coherent. I'm writing a short presentation, so I can start by saying hello everyone, hello everyone. That is fantastic. I've greeted my people. Yeah. Residents are concerned about the impact of untreated sewage on public health. This has attracted the attention of the officials from the national to address this extensive research on sewage and sewage treatment is underway. So maybe I can give something about what sewage is. Maybe no, I just focus on sewage treatment and then look at how I can sensitize people to make sure this sewage is limited, like it does not accumulate. So basically I'm just going to write something small. So to prevent sewage build-up, the community members have to learn to reuse materials that can be used. Recycle where necessary. Recycle if possible. And refuse to use where possible. But in cases where the sewage has already accumulated, we can treat it in different ways, but basically the treatment process involves the following steps. First is filtration to remove solid particles. After removing solid particles, it is basically, let me stop there. I've tried to answer, so I'll close. I've answered. That's why I saw that you're supposed to finish. Then I will have my internet market, my AI. So you look at it. I have a score of 4 of 10 because I've tried actually. I've given away. We can prevent sewage build-up it is relevant, materials can be reused, can be recycled, and it is coherent. Yeah, it's coherent because you just don't refuse, you refuse where possible. So in places where we have said, for example, in cases where the sewage has already accumulated, we can treat it in different ways. But basically the first step is filtration to remove the solid particles. So it is relevant, it is accurate, and it is coherent. So I get my 4 scores. Fantastic. So missing scores and how they could have been earned, there we are. Relevance: the student could have expanded on the impacts of untreated sewage specifically to the local sub-county. Additional relevant points could include discussing specific local water sources impacted. Accuracy: we lack chemical accuracy. The student could have mentioned specific pollutants in sewage, describing the oxidation of organic matter, or the use of chlorine cell for disinfection would have significantly improved the accuracy. Then you look at the coherence. It is lacking a clear structure, you see. And then the student, you did not include enough detail to earn an excellence mark. Maybe describing advanced treatment methods such as membrane bioreactors and reverse osmosis, or discussing the potential for resource recovery would have elevated the response to our land and excellence mark. Plus mentioning the chemical reactions that could occur would also have earned this mark. So basically that's how we get you an item, an activity of integration mark. Fantastic. So basically, thank you for that. Maybe let's also cover the short answer question, which was 2. Unfortunately, because of over trying, all the available short answer questions have been attempted. So they will tell me I try the remaining activities of integration. But what the short answer question does is similar to what the activity of integration was doing, only that for it is more into specific parts of the items that we have actually already discussed above. Like when we are answering an item for the sample exam, where we say the first thing was the raw material, so you find a short answer question asking a raw material. The next marking parts were in the process of production, you find a short answer question asking basically just the process of production, 3 scores. Then we also looked at the social benefit. You find a short answer question just targeting the social benefit, just that, and maybe also targeting just the side effect for that very chapter, like chapter wise. Fantastic. So that is it for an activity of integration and a short answer question. So we're going to come back and cover the final class assignment, and then we see how you can track the academic progress, and then we conclude. Thank you for showing up. Wish you all the best.